What is up, tubers of the U? Pup T at you with another Life, Liberty, and Homestead episode. And what I want to talk to you about today is how to reduce the amount of money that you give a bank and to pay off a home loan quick. It's not a HELOC. It's not a trick. It's not a hack. It's a tip. Okay? What I'm going to show you is how I am going to save myself $60,000 by adding one payment additional each month. One payment. You can do it. If I'm doing it, anybody can do it. It's not that hard. You see a lot of YouTubers and they'll show you these graphs and they draw it out and stuff like that. I'm going to show it to you as far as in the numbers, how it works out. Okay? So it's going to show you what my origination mortgage is. It's going to show you what I would pay the bank. And it's going to show you if I just added one payment every month that I would save $60,000. Who doesn't want to save $60,000? You do. I do. So what I want to show you guys today on Life, Liberty, and the Homestead is a little bit about life and a little bit about liberty. All right, so money is important. And each and every day we want to know how to make money, save money, what have you. So I'm going to show you what amortization schedule will do for your mortgage. So if you look at my original mortgage, it's $177,000 at 30 years. All right, this is at a 4.5% interest rate. I will pay it off March 1st, 2049. I will give the bank $145,859.88 worth of interest payments alone. If I just paid the principal and the interest as scheduled for 30 years, this is what the outcome would be. So I'm almost giving the bank an additional house for no reason. They don't have to do any work except give me the loan. They charge me the interest. I pay it off in 30 years. Everybody's happy. But if you look, this right here was starting in March of 2019. My original principal was $235.57. Interest, $661.26. Now your escrow, you're not really going to be able to change that unless you just paid it all up front. Or if you don't have things like your insurance and your taxes rolled into your loan, then you wouldn't have escrow. But escrow is just for them to go ahead and pay those bills. And that can fluctuate depending on if your bills go up, like your city tax or county tax or whatnot. And then over here you see I have reduction. So the first month I only paid $19.42 as an additional payment to the $235.57. And then I started watching YouTube channels and they were talking about amortization. And I looked at it and I said, can I afford an additional payment? And with the income that I have coming in, I can afford at least one additional payment. So starting in April, that's what I did. I started giving $255 extra towards my loan payment. So what that does is, if you think about it as far as your payments, you can look at it and say, okay, I paid one house payment here and I paid a second house payment over here. So essentially I'm taking off a payment from the back of my loan. So instead of paying 1 month, I pay 2 months. And then it comes off of the lower, you'll get lower interest accrued that next month. So every month, you'll notice my principal steadily rises. It's not by much, but it steadily rises and the interest steadily goes down. Now that happens with everybody's loan payments, but generally they don't reduce very much because you're basically getting interest off of just your payment and your principal. Well, actually, just your principal that comes off. So $177,000, only $235.57 would come off. So take that minus the 177, and the interest is then acquired from that minus the 235. But now essentially what I'm doing is I'm taking two payments off, so it begins to reduce it. So just at this, what I'm doing right now, I will pay off the loan in 19 years. So June 1st, 2038, I will have given the bank, so the total amount that will be given to them would be $264,076.34. They will be getting $87,076.34 off of interest alone. But by doing this process right here, the amortization, and just adding one additional payment, I reduce the amount of interest that I pay by $58,783.54. Now, what I'm doing now, starting in February of 2020, I have bumped this up to $510. So now I'll be given three payments, and that will reduce the amount of years that it will take me to pay it off. I believe the last time I looked at it, I will have it paid off an additional, I want to say it takes off another 8 years from this. So I will be paying off the loan essentially in June 2028. And you can just see, just if I only added one additional payment, and you can do this, everyone can do this. You add one additional payment, you pay it off 11 years early, at least. It's going to depend on your interest rate, could be a little bit more. Again, it's based off of your interest rate. But I'm saving almost $60,000. So what am I going to turn that $60,000 into? I can invest it in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, put it into a savings account, or I can buy an additional property that I can then rent out and then pay it off. And now your home will become an asset sooner. So when somebody looks at what your value of you are, right? So when you go to get loans, they're gonna look at what are your assets? What do you have that's yours? So once this is paid off in 19 years, if I just did it with the 255 additional, I would have an asset because of my house. And then the value of it, of course, the value of the house hopefully will go up with improvements. If your city, booms and people are coming in versus leaving, you're gonna get more value for your house, and that house then becomes an asset. So if you do have to borrow more money later on, the bank will look at it, and let's just say it was only worth $177,000. When it's paid off, I will have, again, if I did it in 30 years, I would have paid off $322,000. But paying it off in 19 years, I only give the bank an extra $87,000. So hopefully in that 19 years, the house goes up by $87,000, which is unlikely, but I'll still have an asset of $177,000 to where if I need to go back and borrow money, maybe I'm going to purchase another home that's a big investment that costs, roughly the same amount of money. They can look at it and the bank will say, okay, this is this guy's assets. He's got one vehicle that's paid off. He's got, great credit. He was always on time with his payments, and he has an asset of at least $177,000. The vehicle with depreciation, we'll say $10,000, right? So this is just a simple, easy, it's not a hack, it's not a trick, it's life. If you can just add one additional payment every month, you'll reduce your payment by 11 years, or at least in this instance at a 4.5% interest rate. I will reduce it by 11 years. Think about that. 11 years, saved almost $60,000 by adding one payment. That, everybody talks about, oh, you don't have to buy coffee. That's right. Don't buy your Starbucks coffee or whatever. And then take the money that you save over here, and instead of buying a Starbucks coffee, buy Starbucks stock. Invest your money. But pay off this first, and then invest. Or invest and pay it off. It just depends on how you want to do it. Dave Ramsey talks about you need to pay off all your bills before you invest. I agree, but the caveat to that is if you get in on stocks that have dividends, they end up paying you. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about reducing your loan, the origination price, what it's going to cost you, versus if you add an additional payment. It's not a trick. It's not a hack. It's just life.